The Letter from the Future. On a quiet October night, Daniel was sitting alone in his small apartment. The clock showed 11 p.m. The city outside was silent, almost too silent. Suddenly, knock knock. Daniel looked at the door. Who could that be at this hour, he wondered. He slowly walked toward the door and opened it. But when he looked outside, no one was there. "Hello?" Daniel said. No answer. He was about to close the door when he noticed something on the floor. A white envelope. "What is this?" he whispered. He picked it up and looked at the name written on it. Daniel Carter. That's my name, but who sent this? Then he noticed the date written on the corner of the envelope. Daniel froze. The date was 3 years in the future. "What? That's impossible," he said. His heart started beating faster. He went back inside, closed the door, and slowly opened the envelope. Inside, there was a letter. He began reading. "Daniel, if you're reading this, it means the experiment worked." Daniel frowned. Experiment? What experiment? He continued reading. "I know this sounds crazy, but this letter was written by you, from the future." Daniel laughed nervously. "From the future? Are you serious?" But then he read the next line, and his smile disappeared. "On October 17th, you will take a flight to Chicago. Do not take that flight. If you do, you will never come back." Daniel stared at the letter. "Is this some kind of joke?" He threw the letter on the table. "This is ridiculous," he said. But deep inside, he felt something was wrong. A few days later at work, his manager called him. "Daniel, we have an important meeting in Chicago on October 17th. We need you there." Daniel felt a cold shiver run through his body. October 17th, the same date. Could the letter be real? That night he went home and read the letter again. Do not take that flight. He sat there thinking, what should I do? Is this real or just a stupid prank? The day of the trip arrived. Daniel woke up early and packed his suitcase. Everything was ready. He walked to the door, then suddenly stopped. His eyes moved slowly toward the letter on the table. He stood there for a long moment. Should I go or not? His heart was beating loudly. Finally, he took his phone and made a call. "I'm sorry," he said to his boss. "I'm sick today. I can't travel." After the call, he sat in the living room feeling nervous. What if the letter was wrong? What if he just ruined his career? That evening, he turned on the television. Suddenly, "Breaking news!" The reporter spoke with a serious voice. "A plane flying to Chicago has crashed shortly after takeoff. There are no survivors." Daniel's eyes widened. What? His body froze. It was the same flight. Slowly, he looked back at the letter. So it was real. Someone in the future knew what would happen. 1 week later, knock knock. Daniel jumped. He ran to the door and opened it. Again, no one was there. But on the floor, another envelope. His hands were shaking as he opened it. He read, "Well done, Daniel. You saved your life. But this was only the beginning." Daniel whispered, "The beginning of what?" He continued reading. "In the future, scientists discovered a way to send short messages through time. You are the first person we tried to save because what you will do in the coming years will affect thousands of people." Daniel's eyes widened. Thousands of people? Me? He kept reading. 3 years from now, you will create an important program in your company, a program that can predict airplane failures before they happen. Daniel couldn't believe it. Me? Invent something like that? Months passed. Daniel worked harder than ever, day after day, night after night, and finally, almost 3 years later, it happened. Daniel created a program that could predict airplane failures before they happened. Airline companies began using the system. Soon, airplane accidents started decreasing. Thousands of lives were saved. One night, Daniel returned home feeling proud and exhausted. Suddenly, knock knock. He walked to the door and opened it. This time, someone was standing there. A man. The man smiled. "Finally, we meet." Daniel looked confused. "Who are you?" The man smiled again. "You really don't recognize me?" Daniel stared at him carefully. "No, should I?" The man spoke softly. "I am you, 20 years from now." Daniel stepped back in shock. "What? That's impossible." The man nodded. "The letters you received, I sent them." Daniel asked, "But why?" The man replied calmly, "Because if you had taken that flight, you would have died, and the program that saved thousands of lives would never have existed." Daniel stood in silence. The man smiled and said one last sentence. "Sometimes one small decision can change the future of the entire world." Then he turned around and walked away. Daniel remained standing there. Before he closed the door, he noticed something on the ground. Another envelope. He opened it. Inside, there was only one sentence. "Mission complete. Thank you for saving the future." Daniel smiled quietly
and slowly closed the door.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to support the channel. Please press the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new exciting stories. Your support helps us continue and bring you better and more thrilling stories in the next videos. Also, tell us in the comments, what did you think about this story? Would you like to see a second part? Thank you very much to everyone who watched the video until the end. See you in the next story.